So what I can tell you is the more that I watch Cinemax's Warrior, the more I really like this show. We're getting ready to get into it. All right, how is everybody? Hopefully all is well. Welcome to Dark Side Reviews. Today we are talking Cinemax's Warrior episode 4, The White Mountain. But I want to do something a little bit different today. I want to actually do a focus on a character. I want to focus on Mei Ling today and really get into her character a little bit. But no worries, I am going to share my overall thoughts of episode 4, and we'll start with a brief synopsis. And oh, by the way, if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because just like we're talking about Warrior, we cover everything action, adventure, sci-fi, and fantasy, and that's all we cover on the channel. So if that's your thing, if that's your love, make sure you join the community. We would love to have you. So, brief overview. Basically, it opens with Bill, and we know that Bill still has a gambling problem. That's a real problem, and my brother's calling me right now. I'm going to ignore that call and keep going. Oh, let's answer it. Hey man, like you're literally interrupting the video. Like you're really, like you're on camera right now. Say hi to the people.
Hey, what's up, folks? What's going on?
Hey, that. All right. Okay, cool. Thanks. All right, later. All right, let's turn this down, you guys. That was my brother, by the way, my twin, actually. I can't turn it all the way down because I'm expecting a call from my wife, but I can't even remember where we left off. I think we talked about Bill, and we started to talk about Assam. If not, we're going to talk about Assam right now, connecting with Penelope. This is pretty fascinating, right? You start to see this love interest really grow, and you think to yourself, like, this is going to be a problem. Obviously, it's going to be a problem with what's going on. The fact that she's white, the fact that he's Chinese. This is a connection that's going to be tumultuous at best. But what's really interesting about this connection is neither one of them seem to be able to control themselves. At this point, they are definitely drawn to each other, and they know the risk, and they're willing to take the risk. Did you notice he leaves Chinatown again? He got the crap beat out of him by Father Jin, and he left Chinatown again. He cannot stay away from this girl. And when the two get together, they share stories of vulnerability, and that lets you know that the connection between these two is going to happen, and whatever happens as a result will be whatever happens as a result. So you definitely can see the love story growing there. It's also interesting, the story that we find out about, I can't remember his name. What's his name? They call him the yellow ghost in this story. Baby June calls him the yellow ghost in this story. I can't remember the guy's name. But we find out another guy that's part of the Hopway, and we find out his backstory, and that he was a brutal fighter, and Father June bought him because he did not want to see them own him in that way. So what's interesting, I think, about his story is that you can tell that he's not happy about his position at either. He feels stuck, right? He's the same as Assam, and Assam makes a little joke about it, and he reminds Assam, listen, both of us are in the same boat, buddy. You are here, and you are just as much a prisoner as I am, and both of them are not satisfied with that. So I want to see if they do more with his character, because I do have the notion that his character is actually going to be more important than what we might think is going to happen right now. We also have a moment between Baby June, or Baby June, Father Jin. I get those confused, man. It's easy for me to do so. Apologies. So Baby June and Assam, where they're talking to each other about trust, and I feel like Baby June is kind of feeling him out there, and Assam is kind of playing the game. But it's interesting because I wonder what will happen with Baby June's character later on. And then we get to Mei Ling, and Mei Ling is a real shot caller. You can tell, like, she knows everything that's going on. She knows the fact that Assam hooked up with Penelope. Then of course we have a toy who knows how to play the ropes, right? Like, this girl knows how to play the game in Chinatown, and she knows who's who. So she knew that she would be able to approach Bill with a little bit of money and get her way. She's really smart. She knows how to navigate the scene. And this episode does even more to draw out the contrast between Bill and Lee. So I want you to think about this. Whose position is right? Now, Bill, we know, is on the take, right? We know he's a dirty cop. We know he's going to take stuff under the table. He's basically going to do what he needs to do to survive. And he's accepted that his environment does not play by the rules, and he's got to play in a way for him to be successful in the environment that he's in. Now, if we contrast that with Lee, who is really by the book, really black and white, even ask the question, what about right and wrong? Whose position is the better position given the environment that they're in? Is Bill actually the smarter cop? Is he kind of playing by the rules that he needs to play by to not only be successful in the environment, but also to survive in the environment? Or do you think Lee's position is better because police officers should kind of have this code of conduct and it should be that way no matter what? That's a question posed to you, but it's really interesting how the show continues to draw the contrast between the two. And we also see that Bill is not completely morally bankrupt, but he certainly will bend with whatever way is suitable for him in the given situation. Okay, so now let's deep dive into Mei Ling. I love this character. She is so good in this show. And for those of us that are into the Badlands fans, you know, she reminds me of an early Widow, like Widow season 1 / season 2 of Into the Badlands. Just the way that she talks, and even sometimes her movements remind me of the Widow. She is awesome. And what I love about what they've done with her character and a couple of the different female characters in this story is they've really given them strength. They've made them powerful female players, but they've still kept the context of how women were viewed in the 1800s. So they don't look out of place, so to speak, but they've built them up to be shot callers within their own right. We see this with a toy as well. So when we look at Mei Ling and how she's executing this level of power in quote unquote a man's world, if you will, it is super interesting to see. The fact that she is so aware of all that's going on makes her so impressive. As we said earlier, the fact that she even knows about the relationship that's going on between Assam and Penelope and the intricate details, if you will, of what's going on between those two, and the way that she navigates the young high, the way that she manipulates all of these different circumstances, you've got to be impressed with the way that this lady is handling everything. And not only that, juggling what's going on in Chinatown, but also aware of what's going on with the government and how she's navigating those aspects, and at the same time doing what she needs to do to try and protect her brother. She's super smart. I love the way that they have written her character. Oh, we're not done. I'll see you guys on the next video. It's right there. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and let's go. Let's get to the next video. Peace.